Thursday morning, back here on Get Up. Kevin Nagani with you. Magic Pistons, Game 2. Pistons seeking their first home playoff win since 2008. They have 11 straight home playoff losses, longest streak in NBA history, so you need this guy to step up, and that is your star, Cade Cunningham. I'll take it all the way. I'll do it myself. Close game, and then in the third quarter, you start to see the separation. The defense starts to separate, and then they shut down the Magic, and Cunningham finds Jalen Duren. They're up by 24, and you know who likes it? A familiar face. There's Zeke, old school Pistons watching on. He likes what he sees. Isaiah Thomas, just under 4 minutes to play. Magic down 25. Pistons, they start the third quarter on a 30-3 run. 10 blocks through the third quarter. Cade Cunningham, 27 points, 11 assists. The handles, yeah, he was comfortable. And the Pistons, they evened the series 98-83 after a shocking Game 1 loss. Outside of the 30-3 run, though, to start that second half, their offense really struggled. In the other 40-some minutes, the team scored just 68 points on 40% shooting, while shooting 4 of 22 from 3. Detroit also turned the ball over 22 times compared to just once in that 7-minute, 30-second run. We know the NBA. We talk about it a lot. It's all about runs, but it was just one run. It was a big one. Back here with Michael Wilbon, the Hall of Famer. Your single biggest takeaway from what we saw in Game 2, which is some uninspired offense outside that 30-3 run.
Well, Kevin, they don't have enough offense.
Yeah.
And that's not going to materialize suddenly during the playoffs just because they need it. Detroit had that nice run in the regular season, and there was one giant but. Cade Cunningham, if he's out, they did a great job when he was out of holding that team together, which is why J.B. Bickerstaff, to me, is coach of the year in the league. But they needed more offense. We knew it then. We can see it even more clearly now. They can get through Orlando with this. But beyond that, offensively, they're going to struggle. I mean, Cade Cunningham can't do all of this every night against increasingly good defenses.
Yeah, the big question is, who's your number 2 offense that you count on? Durant does his job, but
sometimes.
Can you rely on him on a deep playoff run? Does Cade look right to you? Because, again, we're talking about a guy that's coming off a collapsed lung this spring.
He started looking more right last night.
Yeah.
He did. I mean, but it's going to take some time, and he acknowledged that. It takes some time to get back to the form. Look, to me, Cade Cunningham was first team All-NBA during that stretch that he had the Pistons playing well and number 1 seed in the East. And he might have been an MVP candidate there for a while before he goes down with that just insane injury. Again, by himself is sustainable. No, it looks like Detroit is a player and a year away. I mean, you know, that Game 1 performance against Orlando at home, they struggle at home. They may struggle some more in this series. We haven't even gotten to Florida yet for this series. But you're asking a lot for Cade Cunningham, as great as he has been, to just be the one-man offense for that team in the playoffs. All
right, we've already talked about the 2 playoff games last night. Let's run the floor and talk about some other storylines here with the NBA, starting with Blazers Spurs, where Victor Wembanyama currently going through concussion protocol. Wilbon, are the Spurs in trouble if Wemby is not available for Game 3 tomorrow night?
Yes. You know, the question is really, is he going to be able to play Game 4?
Yeah.
To me, Sunday, can he even be ready for Game 4? The average amount of time, Kevin, that's missed for a player in concussion protocol in the NBA is 9 days. That would take him out of Games 3 and 4, importantly. Here's the other thing. We don't even know if they're going to allow him to travel.
That's the key, right?
Right?
Yeah.
So this is not like, you know, the opponents in Houston, they can just drive in the state of Texas and get to the game like he's in the AAU competition.
Yeah.
He's got to fly to Portland. We don't know if that's going to be allowed. Yeah, and they're going to depend on their veterans, De'Aaron Fox, Harrison Barnes. Those guys do have playoff experience. Harrison Barnes, a lot of it. They're going to have to rely on that. They did play well and beat Portland a couple of times without Wembanyama in the regular season. Different deal.
That's a storyline we're going to continue to follow here with Wemby's health and, of course, that concussion protocol. All right, let's move on to the spiciest first-round matchup. Wolves, Nuggets. Minnesota stole Game 2 on the road to tie the series, and they were talking afterwards. Michael, have the Wolves found the formula here to beat the Nuggets?
Yes. We know that because they've already done it. They just did it a couple of years ago. Denver was defending champ, and the Timberwolves took them out. This is a legit rivalry. I don't know if this needs updating by one game, but these two teams are like 15-15 against each other in the last 30 games. They've played a ton of games against each other, and defensively, the Wolves are absolutely arrogant about what it is they think they can do. They have maybe the one player in Rudy Gobert who can actually deal with Joker.
Yes.
He's not going to stop Joker. He's not. But the other night, he did a heck of a job against him in Game 2, and Minnesota got back in that. You can say, well, Joker just missed those shots. Wait a minute. Rudy Gobert has been Defensive Player of the Year, 4 times?
Yep.
He can hold his own. That appears to be sustainable to a degree. And we've seen the Timberwolves do this to Denver.
Yeah, and I'll bring up another. How about Jamal Murray? Jamal Murray, you have to step up. Jokic and Murray to have only 2 points in the fourth quarter.
But that speaks, and that's why the Wolves were so arrogant about their defensive performance, calling people out.
Yeah.
I mean, games 3 and 4 in that series are really going to be worth watching. I know at the beginning of the year, I had Denver sort of bouncing back and some of the acquisitions they made and changes they made to win the whole thing. But every time I'd look at Minnesota as being a thorn in their side. Minnesota has been to the conference finals in the West each of the last 2 years. And that's going to be a long series.
They're a matchup nightmare. All right, finally, how about LeBron? 41 years young, turning back the clock, leading the Lakers to a commanding 2-0 lead over the Rockets as the series heads back to Houston. Is this series over, Michael?
I think so. LeBron, I mean, historically, and I know I'm leaning on what has happened, 24-0. That's not a small sample size. 24-0 in games and series in which his team leads 2-0. And if Kevin Durant, we don't know what affects that the knee contusion are having. He scored 20 points in the first half. Clearly ran out of gas, did not have it physically in the second half for 3 points. That's not Kevin Durant. So we're looking at a Houston team which has really been disappointing, to be honest with you.
Very much
through
so.
These first 2 games. LeBron, the question is, can LeBron do this and hold the fort until you get Doncic and Reaves back? That would really be important. This series goes so long. It goes longer than the Summer Olympics. It goes until the middle of the first week of May.
The days off in between.
You think the league and certain network bosses want us to have LeBron James in action for these games? Yeah, if LeBron, who doesn't have to play back-to-backs, gets some downtime, gets 2 days off, the way he's playing, LeBron's ability to diagnose whatever is needed quarter to quarter, game to game, night to night, series to series, it's amazing at this stage that he can do that and just sort of be whatever he needs to morph and be whatever he needs to be. Look, even if they win this series, they get OKC next.
Yeah, but potentially
let's not look too far.
You get Luka and Austin Reaves
But
back.
even with Luka and Austin Reaves, they had all those guys. They went to OKC and got smacked.
And that's when Luka got
in the regular
hurt.
season. Yes, when all of a sudden there was a hammy. So LeBron, there are no buts about what he's doing, how amazing it is. Can he get at least one of these games? I think they'll get a game in Houston as well. Houston just looks off. Houston had every chance in all season long once Fred VanVleet was injured